The last rays of sunlight filtered through the dusty attic window, casting elongated shadows on the floorboards. Books lay open and forgotten, their pages whispering tales of distant lands. A half-finished painting leaned against an easel, capturing a glimpse of the artist's soul. But all Clara saw was Eliana, sitting on an old trunk, her profile bathed in the warm glow, a paintbrush resting lightly in her lap. Their friendship had been an unlikely melody, two souls seemingly out of harmony. Yet somehow, somewhere along their shared journey, the notes had melded, creating a composition richer than either could have imagined. Clara had been drawn to Eliana's free spirit, her passion for life as vibrant as the colors she splashed onto her canvases. In turn, Eliana had found solace in Clara's quiet strength, a steady beat to anchor her whimsical heart. But recently, the music had changed. The casual touches lingered a little longer. Shared glances held a secret conversation. The comfortable silence had deepened into something more profound, a symphony of emotions neither could quite name. Yet they both felt the crescendo building within, threatening to burst the fragile walls that held their friendship. Suddenly, Eliana turned, their eyes meeting. Time seemed to pause, the attic's dust motes dancing in the silence. "There's something I need to tell you," Eliana said, her voice uncharacteristically shaky. Clara's heart skipped a beat, mirroring the erratic brush strokes on the unfinished canvas. She nodded, hoping her expression betrayed nothing of the turmoil echoing in her own soul. For a moment, the only sound was the ticking of the old grandfather clock downstairs, each tick echoing the urgency pounding in Clara's chest. Eliana began, then hesitated, the carefree glint in her eyes replaced by a vulnerability that tugged at Clara's heart. "I haven't been honest with you." Clara's breath hitched. Honesty had always been the cornerstone of their bond. The mere suggestion of its absence sent a chill down her spine. Taking a deep breath, Eliana stood up, her movements stiff, her usual grace replaced by a hesitant awkwardness. "I've kept something from you," she continued, pacing now, her hands twisting in her paint-splattered apron. "Something important." The confession hung heavy in the air, thick and suffocating like the dust motes swirling in the attic's stillness. "What is it?" Clara asked, her voice barely a whisper, her eyes never leaving Eliana's face. The question hung between them, unanswered, yet everything they had ever shared suddenly felt overshadowed by Eliana's unspoken words. As if jolted by a sudden resolve, Eliana whirled around, her eyes shining with tears. "It's why I came to this town," she exclaimed, her voice cracking. "Why I started this art program, why I rented this house." Her words tumbled out, a torrent of long-held secrets threatening to engulf them both. Clara's heart pounded in her chest, each beat echoing the insistent drum of her blood. Memories flashed before her eyes, moments she had shared with Eliana, suddenly taking on new layers of meaning. The shy smiles, the lingering touches, the unspoken dreams they had woven together. Could all of it fit into the puzzle pieces Eliana was about to reveal? With trembling hands, Eliana reached out, as if to grasp at the shifting fragments of their shared past. "My family," she whispered, her voice raw with emotion. "They didn't know I was coming here. They thought I was going to finish my studies in Florence." Her eyes fell, her shoulders slumping slightly under the weight of her confession. Clara felt a surge of empathy mixed with a dawning realization. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to form a picture, but the edges remained blurred. She stepped forward, her hand reaching out to touch Eliana's arm, seeking a connection, offering silent support. "I needed to get away," Eliana continued, her voice barely audible. "To find myself, to find my art. I didn't want their money, their connections, their expectations." She looked up then, her eyes filled with unshed tears. "But most of all, I needed to find me without you. Without everyone's eyes on me, without them telling me who I should be, who I should love." Her words struck Clara like shards of glass, piercing the carefully constructed walls around her heart. "Love." It was an echo in Eliana's voice, a plea, a prayer. And suddenly it was clear to Clara why the music had changed, why the colors in Eliana's paintings had taken on a deeper hue, why their shared silences had become charged with unspoken emotions. Yet despite the clarity dawning within her, fear tightened its grip on Clara's heart. Her feelings for Eliana ran deep, nurtured by years of shared laughter, quiet understanding, and comfortable companionship. But she had never dared to voice them, let alone imagine a future where those feelings might be reciprocated. Before she could respond, a loud crash from downstairs shattered the tense quiet. Both women jumped, their heads snapping towards the sound. The silence that followed was deafening. It was broken only by the distant rumble of thunder, signaling the approaching storm outside. "I should go," Eliana said, her voice barely a whisper. She turned away, her shoulders shaking slightly, her usual vibrancy dimmed by the weight of her confession. "Wait," Clara blurted out, the word catching in her throat. She hesitated, torn between her lifelong feelings and the fear of losing Eliana's friendship. But the sight of Eliana's retreating figure, the tremor in her hands, compelled her to act. Taking a deep breath, Clara started to speak, her voice trembling slightly. "Eliana," she began, unsure how to bridge the chasm of unspoken emotions that had suddenly opened between them. Eliana turned back, her eyes questioning, her expression a mixture of vulnerability and hope. In that moment, Clara knew she couldn't deny her feelings any longer. She owed it to herself, to their friendship, to the potential of something more. Clara started again, her eyes locking with Eliana's. She reached out then, her hand hovering hesitantly in front of Eliana's chest. "I've loved you for a long time." The words left her lips, carrying the weight of years of unspoken emotions. A single tear traced its way down Eliana's cheek, reflecting the fading sunlight like a captured star. For a moment, the only sound was the distant rumble of thunder. Then Eliana took a shaky breath. "Oh, Clara," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. As if overcome by a sudden surge of courage, or perhaps the deluge of emotions threatening to spill over, Clara closed the distance between them, her lips finding Eliana's in a kiss that spoke volumes what words couldn't express. It was a kiss born out of years of longing, a silent testament to the depth of their connection. When they finally broke apart, their foreheads resting against each other, the rain began to fall in earnest, drumming a steady rhythm on the attic floorboards. A smile touched Eliana's lips, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "I love you too," she whispered. "I've loved you since the day we met, in the small, dust-filled attic amidst the remnants of forgotten dreams and half-painted canvases." Love bloomed anew. The confession had brought them closer, weaving their souls together in a tapestry of emotions. The storm outside raged on, but within the attic's embrace, a new calm had settled. They held each other close, knowing that their love story had just begun.